Welcome back to Key Point here on TV3. We're also live on 3FM 92.7, also on TV3 Ghana on Facebook, DSTV channel 279, all across the world on 3news.com. Remember, you can share your thoughts with us on Facebook at 3FM 927. It's a conversation that reflects on the realities that we're faced with as a people, beyond the politics of it, so that we can make sense of this democracy that we have been experimenting over the period. And remember, you can also join us on X at TV3 Ghana, and I would share your thoughts and also your comments on the issues that we are going to be talking about this morning. Welcome, if you just joined us. We have a number of issues on the menu this morning. My name is Alfred Okansi. I guess will be joining me in a bit. This week, start off quickly with this conversation on what happened in the Ejisu By-Election. It's one that we had been looking forward to for a while after the unfortunate incident, the demise of Dr. John Kuma, the sitting member of parliament for that constituency. In the run-up to it, the three-time member of parliament for this constituency, Aduomi, declared his intentions to go independent. Now, what we do know is that he has also declared his support for Alan Kojo Chamantin. So essentially, you would say by extension, maybe contesting for and on behalf and in the interest of the movement for change. We would have a conversation on this, plus that one incident that happened on that day and how threatening or otherwise it is when it comes to electoral sanctity, transparency, and ensuring that we guard against any forms of actions that would send signals of inducement or worry in any way that compromises our elections. But I want to show you this. This is how the Ejisu itself as a constituency has voted over the period. Take a look at this. Since 2008, I mean, in 2012, for instance, Aduomi, who contested as an independent candidate this time, won with 80.52% of the total valid vote cast. That's 51,976. As against the NDC's Augustus Andrews, 11,788. That's 18.26. There's a reason why the NDC did not even go and waste its resources in that by-election. Because if you look at the electoral history of this constituency, the NDC doesn't do much. In fact, relatively negligible, both in the parliamentary and presidential. And then when you look at presidential 2012, look at that, 80.3% for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And then just around the same percentage that the parliamentary candidate got, John Mahama got the same. Kwabena Osu-Aduomi 2016, take a look at that. An increase actually in what happened in 2012. So you can pin that to a number of factors. In every election, you would have the eligible voters population in those constituencies increasing. So yes, that also reflects in the increase in the votes that Kwabena Osu-Aduomi, as an NPP candidate then in 2016, got with 83.79%, 54,508. That's of the valid votes cast. And then you have Gloria Akoshi. And one thing that the NDC has done over the period is that they always change their candidates. They haven't maintained a candidate in that Ejisu constituency over subsequent elections. Let's look at what happened in the presidential as well. And it's a trend that runs through. The percentage that the parliamentary candidate of the NPP gets, you will see that also reflected in that of the presidential as well. And that is what you see reflected. Let's look at 2020. It was the 2020 that the late John Kuma won the primaries. And this was after a number of issues that Governor Aduomi raised with respect to the album, the electoral album that was used for that election, and so reason why he lost, and he did not take it kindly. And so his resignation, this is one of the issues that led to that. John Kumah won the primaries, won the 2020 parliamentary elections with 68,326. 68,326. As against the NDC's George Huze, 14,164. So the NDCs really didn't have much of a reason to even contest this by-election. Then the same reflected in the presidential, and you see the trend over the period in that constituency. But with this Ejisu by-election, you had Kwabena Boateng of the NPP polling some 27,782 of the valid vote cast, representing, based on the Electoral Commission's own analysis, 51.8, beg your pardon, as against 21,536 Governor Aduomi, 43.3%. And bear in mind, the voter turnout this time around, as we've seen in a number of the by-elections, was about 49.1%. So obviously, that accounts for the low turnouts that we saw. In general elections, the turnout is mostly higher. But there is a story in there, because apparently we understand that the Tuesday was a market day in the Ejisu constituency. So you would expect that people would attend to their daily bread before thinking about any election for that matter. Does this really give an indication of what's going to be happening in election 2024? Or this is just a by-election and the NPP has won and nothing else? This is the first conversation that we would have this morning here on Key Point. Also live on 3FM 92.7, also on TV3 Ghana on Facebook, and on DSTV channel 279, all across the world on 3news.com. Joining me in studio is lawyer Kingsley Amoakwa Boydu, who is a private legal practitioner and a member of the New Patriotic Party. Council, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Also joining us, Nana Ohene Into, is a former General Secretary of the NPP, and in fact a number of things, including an ace journalist for that matter. I mean, this job that I'm doing, he's done before, and many other things that he's done both in his personal capacity and in the development of this country in his own contributions. He is currently the senior advisor to Alan Kojo Chemanting, the leader of the Movement for Change. Nana Oheningto, good morning, welcome.
Good morning.
Let me also welcome Martin Kpebu, private legal practitioner, leader of one of 3 individual bondholder groups, and the convener for the Kumi Prekurilo demonstration. I always say that is one of the foremost human rights lawyers that we have in this country. That has not been contested as yet.
Hey, Mr. Kasi.
Martin Kpebu, good morning, welcome.
Good morning. Good to be here. We're always learning. Call me rookie human rights lawyer. Rookie.
You know, I didn't know that your full name is Martin Luther King Kpebu. That's the full name, isn't it? Martin Luther. Martin Luther.
Yeah.
Martin Luther Kpebu.
Yeah.
I think I should be saying that instead of just...
I'll make it simple. Simple. Thank you.
Professor Bafwa Jimendia is going to be joining us on Zoom in a bit. He's a governance expert, former advisor on governance at the United Nations. Sami Jemfi is National Communications Officer of the NDC. He will be joining me as well in a bit. But let me start off with you, Lawyer Amoakwa, on this by-election and the aftermath. We saw, yes, your candidate won, but then again, it's not the kind of showing that the NPP has had in that constituency over the period with the numbers in terms of percentages and so on. But bearing in mind the low voter turnout as well that came in there. Now, do you, as a party, after assessing the outcome of this by-election, get the sense that there's a lot more work in a constituency that you should have even gone to sleep and still won in the first place?
Thank you. Good morning to my fellow panelists and to viewers and listeners. Ejisu by-elections, as you said, the turnout was low. And then you were saying that there was a market day as well. And so people went to take care of their daily bread. Besides that, there were teething issues, and we have to look at those, and these are real issues. Now, you see, after every election, no matter how small it is, even nowadays, even university elections, even law school elections, after that, we sit down and assess it and analyze it to see what could and could not, what could be done to make it better. For this, you have both Honorable Aduomi and Kwabena coming from the same stock. Definitely. There's going to be a split in political fortunes there. And so what you see reflected that I was of no doubt that NPP would take the seat or retain the seat.
You have no doubt.
You
are going to win.
Win. Now, the issue is that Mr. Aduomi has been a member of parliament in that constituency for 3 terms. That's 12 years of engagement, one-on-one, in the constituency. And then he has been a deputy minister for roads. So definitely 1 or 2 roads passing through there would have his footprints on that. And if he goes to any constituency, he should be able to point that this is as a result of me being an MP here, and that is a result of me being an MP here. He's an indigenous of the person. So anyone who, and I doubt if that was a party position, it wasn't, but anyone who would assume that, oh, it will be a walk in the park. No, it will not be a walk in the park. Mm-hmm. Definitely not. Then again, the government has been in power for almost 8 years now. Now, for 8 years, definitely, because you are dealing with human beings, there will be 1 or 2 things that someone will not be happy about. Okay? Mm-hmm. And then he personally has roots there. There are people that no matter what, they would vote for him.
Okay.
So the take home after this election is that, and I re-echo what the party chairman said, there has to be several acts at reconciliation.
Reconciliation.
Exactly.
Okay.
If we are able to get some of those who voted for him, very good for us. If you manage to get even him to come back, it is good. Because then, if you look at it, the 27 and his own should have come, all of that should have come to the party. You see, all of that should have come to the party.
You mean the 21,536
and
that Kwabena Aduomi got?
Exactly.
I see.
Okay, so
all of it
should have come to the party. Exactly.
It's not possible.
How is it not possible? That is what I see. We were getting 82%. And so for you to say that, no.
It's not like
you see, so that is what we need to work at realistically. So that if you're able to get that, you see, for parliamentary seat, it's a no-brainer. NPP retain it. Now let's distinguish that from the presidential. Okay? Now, if you look at the presidential, the parliamentary seat is first past the post, isn't it? Presidential is 50% plus one. So there is even more work to be done for the 50% plus one because every vote counts. You see, so that is the posture of the party after this election. If you have to learn something from this.
Great. I acknowledge the presence of Sami Jemfi, National Communications Officer of the NDC. Mr. Jeffrey, good morning. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. Right.
Good morning to all panelists.
Indeed.
Good morning.
Right. So, but if you look at it, you had to do quite some work.
Obviously.
A lot of work
Obviously.
in a constituency that is your stronghold. But then marshalling all your arsenals there, but the president, the vice president, all the roads you had to construct overnight, and all of these miraculous projects you do.
I don't know if you're talking about another constituency or Ejisu.
The Ejisu constituency.
I don't know of any road constructed overnight.
Oh, we'll show you.
I don't know that. And for there to be
don't worry.
an election
We
for
have-
the president to come there, he goes in all of them,
You indicated you don't know, but that doesn't mean it didn't take place. But
Well, I'm saying I don't know of
I'll
that.
show you videos
Now-
over there. Okay.
Now, what we are saying is that there's lesson to be learned from every election.
Right.
Even if we had 90%,
Okay.
there will still be lessons to be learned from that. It means that we still have to get the temper. I'm saying, as for the parliamentary seat, it's not going to go
Okay.
away. The presidential, that is 50% plus one.
Right.
We have to do everything in our arsenal to make sure that we are getting everyone. That is work to be done. You shouldn't take any elections for granted. You shouldn't take any constituency for granted. You shouldn't take anyone for granted. So it's not that it is something that we are now coming to realize. No,
I see.
it is work that is between now and December. Remember, it's about a few months away. Okay, so it's a work. It is not something new. It's work that needs to be done, and we are working at it.
I see.
Remember, we said that the party chairman said that we need to sit down, have discussions, and because we are the elderly, we need to approach Honorable Aduomi. We don't wait for him to approach.
Okay.
And even doing that is not in the open. It is sitting down at the background and talking and making sure things are done. And I'm saying, if we even manage to get half of this, we have done well.